is SHWWl Act 2013. What is SHWWl Act? The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act is applicable in relation to workplace. A woman of any age, whether employed or not, who alleges to have been subjected to any act of sexual harassment by the respondent. The law provides guidelines for working women, irrespective of their employment in public sector or private sector, or even employed in the household or unorganized sector. So this act is applicable to all the women at the workplace, irrespective of their workplace. That is, even if the woman employee employed in private sector or public sector or any household, even in the unorganized sector, if the woman employee faces any harassment, if the woman employee feels that they are being harassed in their workplace, means then this act is applicable to all the establishment. So what are all the behavior that is considered as a sexual harassment? First is physical contact or advances, or a demand or a request for sexual favor, making sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, any other unwelcomed physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So these are all the considered as a behavior of sexual harassment. First is physical contact and advances. Unwelcomed touching of a woman, then demand for sexual favors, sexually marking sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, unwelcomed physical or verbal or non-verbal contact. So these are all the considered as the misbehavior with the or sexual harassment involved with the women workers. The following circumstances among other circumstances considered as a sexual harassment: implied or explicit promise of preferential treatment in her employment, implied or explicit threat of detrimental treatment in her employment, implied or explicit threat about her present or future employment status, interference with her work or creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work environment for her, humiliating treatment likely to affect her health or safety. So apart from that, these circumstances is also considered as a sexual harassment. So what are all these circumstances? First is preferential treatment, giving some preferential treatment in her employment, giving some priority in her employment, or giving not giving any preferential treatment, or a threat is given to her present or future employment status, and any offensive behavior with the women employees, humiliating treatment. So these are all considered as a sexual harassment for the women employees. If this kind of behavior is done by any other employees to the women workers, then that can be considered as a sexual harassment. Then this act will be implemented against the employees.